It's great to catch up with you. It's been a little while since we had a chat in Manchester all those years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
man. It's good to see you again.
Absolutely, man,
Crazy.
and
I love Zoom that we get to do that.
absolutely, that's the beauty of it. But how things are you? It's an exciting time for you. You got the album coming out soon. Been on the road as well a little bit. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to and how things are.
Oh, just been running crazy, since we got shut down for so long. It's be careful what you wish for, right? Because it's back to being crazy and nuts. And yeah, new album. I just released an EP back in November of last year and a new album uh coming out in August. So it's keeping me busy, man. I've been touring like crazy. We've been playing lots of shows and yeah, it's been great. No complaints here, other than I'm
Yeah.
just trying to keep up.
Well, I've had to listen to the album, and it's just such a great project, and it feels very much like it's very much Wade Bowen. It feels like you've honed in on what works for the fans, what feels good for you. So tell us a little bit about how the album evolved and where it came from.
Well, I went through a writer's drought during the pandemic when we were shut down, and so I came out of the other side of that with this huge, um, I don't know, this desire to write more than I've ever written, and so that's why we released the EP back in November because I couldn't stand to not get some music out. I wanted to get some new music out, and then this album consists of 12 brand new songs, not including the EP. So um, I took a chance on this one, producing it myself, and I really feel like I'm at the best place I've ever been musically. I feel like I'm writing the best songs, and I feel like I really know what I want out of a song and out of a record. So I took a chance and produced this myself for the first time, and I really enjoyed the process, and I'm really proud of what came out of it.
And it's such a big anthemic record, but it's a very simplistic record as well, and I mean that in a really positive way. It feels like you've really stripped back and honed in on what works. Um, Tell us a little bit about the songwriting process for this, because you worked with the likes of Eric Paslay, Heather Morgan, Laurie McKenna, but it was a very closed group. So tell us a little bit about, like, was that the intention going into the record, or was it just sort of best song wins?
Well, it's always best song wins, but I got into a groove with those specific people, and I really felt like I was honing in on what I wanted, how it was going, and the direction it was going, and felt like I was getting the best songs out of those people. So, um, that's a group of writers that I feel like I can take these quirky ideas, and they know me and know what I want, and then so it just kind of saves me the trouble of going in there with these people, and then new writers like writing with Randy Montana for the first time. I mean, that's he and I are now instant brothers. We got along and clicked like that. So the writing process was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I think, yeah, you're right. The simplicity of these songs is what really shines. It really gives the band a chance to blow them up and make them big and make them huge, which really reflects in our live show as well.
And I wanted to chat with you about working with Laurie McKenna specifically. Obviously, one of the greatest songwriters of our generation, and she also features on A Beautiful World as well. And it feels like anything she puts her voice on, she just adds such a magic to the track, and that's very evident with that one in particular. So, tell us about getting her involved and what it means to you to have her involved in the record.
Yeah, she and I have been friends a long time, and we've written together before. But you know, uh, some great things came out of the pandemic, which is Zoom, which what we're doing right now. We can be across the world from each other and be able to stay in touch. And that's she lives in Boston, I live in Texas, so that's pretty much a part across the world. It feels like to us. So we never really got a chance to do much, and then when Zoom came along, it gave us a chance to see each other and catch up and visit and talk about family and friends and also write. And so I really we developed. We were close friends anyway, but I think she's probably the best thing that came out of COVID for me was my friendship with her got a lot stronger, and the songwriting. You can't be in the room with Lori and not get better. I mean, she's just an incredible songwriter and an incredible human being. So you become better as a songwriter, but you also become better as a person, and that's a good feeling to walk away from.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like when I listen to an album and I know that Laurie McKenna is involved in one of the songs, you can tell from the first verse if she's been involved in that song. She's got that magic that I don't think any other songwriter has. Another thing with that song as well, you've got some strings involved as well, and it's like a very orchestral feel to it. How awesome was that to get the strings involved?
Yeah, I just felt like it needed it, production wise. It needed a little bit more drama. I really feel like that the beautiful, it's called A Beautiful World, and I really feel like that song is meant to, with all we've been going through the last couple of years. I think that song really is meant to make an impact on the world, and that's what I really wanted it to do. Whether or not it does, so I felt like the production needed to do that, and I felt like it needed that to really add the intensity to it, to increase the intensity and really make it hit home a lot harder. And I every time I hear that song or sing it, I get close to tearing up. It's a song that I really believed in the idea, and I love that you can bring these quirky ideas to Laurie, and she's willing to go right there with you and not blink an eye. She'll dive headfirst in with you, and that's not every songwriter will do that. And so I think that's why we get along so well as writers, because she's not afraid to just go there and say things and be a little bit off the cuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. And in terms of the singles, you went with "Everything Has Your Memory" for the first single, and it also kicks off the record as well. Eric Paslay and Heather Morgan wrote that one with you. So, why did that one feel like a good way to sort of kick off the record, and why did that feel like a good sort of flag bearer for the album?
I just think it shows the melody driven part of this record that I've never really focused on a whole lot. I've always focused solely on lyrics and kind of let the production take care of itself. And this one was the other way around. I feel like I focused a lot on production and a lot on the melodies, a lot on, trying to create songs that people feel good, or songs that people feel in general. And I think this song just sums up what I want people to feel. I think from the moment you listen to it and the moment it cranks up, it has a singability to it. It has an anthemic feel. And I just felt like it was a great representation of what the whole record is as a whole.
Yeah, and you've also solo produced this album as well. Is it the first time in your career you've ever done that on an album?
Yeah, I've co-produced some records for other people, but I've never solely produced a record at all. So I figure I'm a good guinea pig on myself. That way we don't mess up somebody else's record if it didn't work out. But it was a chance I took. I wasn't, I can't say that I went into it with the most confidence. I was very nervous and a little bit scared, but I think that's usually when I'm at my best, when I'm kind of up against the wall or in the corner. I'll fight my way out of it, and I think that's what I did with this project. I figured it out and I learned a lot, and I look forward to my next one. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, and you worked with a bunch of musicians that you've worked with in the past as well. You sort of got your sort of core session group back together after changing it up for the Solid Ground record. What is it like working with those guys, and why does it just sort of click for you when you get into a studio with those guys?
Well, a guy like Tom Bukovac is a guitar player that's famous and amazing and incredible in every way, but he was also the guy that kind of created my early sound. I found Tom Bukovac, and he was playing, actually. At the time, he was one of the most renowned studio musicians in the world. But I saw him playing a bar, and I thought I was blown away at what he played and how he played and who he was. And so he was the most incremental part of my early sound for my career. And so I wanted to get him back involved. I thought it was really important to have him, and some of these other guys like Russ Paul. I never had on the record, but I've always wanted to. Chad Cromwell on drums. I've wanted to have him before, and never worked out. And so I'm glad some of this just worked out right. Jed Hughes is an old friend of mine. We went to college together, and so I think having those people around really helped me kind of settle into the production side of it, and really truly helped the record obviously come alive.
Yeah, and another guy that you got involved in the record was Mr. Vince Gill. Now, like, where did you find him? Did you find him on the street, or
Yeah, poor guy needs some help, right? No, I
working with
sometimes
him?
you just ask your heroes and they say yes. I mean, it's really as simple as it can get. I just kind of I got him to agree to do some harmonies, and then I just pushed a little bit further. I was like, hey man, if I feel like this song, I wrote it because of people like you. I'm inspired. You're one of my biggest heroes and biggest inspirations, and if you want to sing a verse or if you want to take a solo, I'd love to have it. And he said, sure, I'll do both. And he sang harmonies too. So um, it's a dream come true to have him. He's an incredibly nice guy. Every time I've been around him, every time I've met him, he's nothing but the utmost of class and respect, and just sweet and kind, and obviously as talented as I've ever seen in anybody in the entire world. So yeah, to be able to put his name next to mine and have him sing a verse and actually call it a duet is it's just I can't believe it still.
That's awesome, man. And wait, just before I let you go, what's the plan for the rest of the year in terms of touring for you? Have you got a packed schedule coming up?
Yeah, touring like crazy. I'm trying to get back over, tour some Europe dates again. And I know we've had to cancel many over the last couple of years, and so that's been frustrating for me because I love touring over there. But as of now, we're continuing to tour in the States quite a bit, and I'm already starting to write and uh, track another Wade Bowen record and another Hold My Beer record with my buddy Randy. So it's no slowing down for me. I feel like I'm got the pedal down. Let's go.
Nice one, man. Well, Wade, thank you so much for joining me today, man. Really appreciate your time. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
Back
And
at you. Thanks for having me.
best of luck with the album, man.
Thank you.